Hi everyone, and welcome to Get Good at Maths. In this series of videos, I'm going to be walking you through last year's GCSE maths papers, which are June 2022 higher GCSE paper from Edexcel. It's the same paper that had this horrible question that my year 11s were really not happy about, and it kind of circled around the world, and there were loads of professors and teachers who actually couldn't do it. So we'll have a look through it, and hopefully you can learn a few tips and tricks from me. I'm going to be doing 5 questions per video, and that one will appear on the final video. I'm not going to go into massive amounts of detail in every question, otherwise we'll be here all day, but you'll get the current gist of things. So here we go. Right, number 1, solve 7x minus 27 is less than 8. And for these, you just treat it like you would a normal equation. So we're going to add 27 to both sides, and you'll get 7x is less than 35, and then you're going to divide both sides by 7. X is less than 5. Number 2, write 124 as a product of its prime factors. So we're going to start with 124, and you're going to break it down into factors of 124. So that will be 2 times 62, and whenever you get to a prime factor, you've got to circle it. 62 is 31 times 2, circle your 2, and 31 doesn't break down any further, so it's just 31. And you write to the examiner, 124 equals 2 times 2 times 31. Or you could write it as 2 squared times 31. Number 3, a delivery company has a total of 160 cars and vans. The number of cars to the number of vans is in the ratio of 3 to 7. Each car and each van uses either electricity, diesel, or petrol. 1/8 of the cars use electricity, 25%, or in this case a quarter use diesel, and the rest of the cars use petrol. Work out the number of cars that use petrol. You must show all your workings. Right, let's work out how many cars we've actually got. So it's 3 parts. I'm going to add 3 and 7 together, which will give you 10 parts. And those 10 parts must represent 160 cars and vans. 1 part, therefore, will be 160 divided by 10, which will give you 16 cars per part. And we've got 3 of them, so cars equals 3 lots of 16 for 48. 1/8 of them use electricity, so we'll put E for electricity, and that will be 48 divided by 8, which gives you 6. And then 25% use diesel, and that's a quarter, so I'm going to do 48 divided by 4, which will give you 12. And then so electric and diesel will give you 6 plus 12 for 18, and then you just need to deduct that away from 48, and then that will give you your petrol cars. So petrol equals 48 minus 18 for 30. Number 4, write 1.63 times 10 to the minus 3 as an ordinary number. So this minus 3 means you start off with 3 zeros, so 0.00, and then you just shove on the end 163. Write down 438,000 in standard form. And what we do is we box off your significant figures at the front, and you've got to make that between 1 and 10, or less than 10, I should say. And we'll put the decimal point in between the 4 and the 3. So 4.38, and you count up your decimal points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's times 10 to the 5. And the last one, work out 4 times 10 to the 3 times 6 times 10 to the minus 5. And the rule is you multiply your front numbers together, so 4 times 6, and then you're going to times it by 10, and then you add your powers instead. 3 plus minus 5, like this. 4 times 6 is 24, times 10. 3 plus negative 5 is 3 minus 5, so that will give you minus 2. This number can't go above 10, the 24. So we're going to turn it into a 2.4 by dividing it by 10. So if you divide this by 10, that means you've got to times this side by 10 to keep it balanced. Times 10. Now, if you when you times by 10, you actually just add 1 to the power, so it will give you minus 1 instead. So I would probably go about this by saying around here is a around a point, and it adds up to 360 degrees. So if you can work out the angle here and the angle here, then we deduct it from 360, and then it will give you x. Right, there is an angle formula you've got to remember, and it goes n minus 2 times 180, and that tells you how many degrees are in any shape. N meaning the amount of sides. So let's look at the hexagon. There are 6 sides, so it will be 6 minus 2 times 180, which is 4 times 180 for 720 degrees. So inside the shape is 720 degrees, and we can work out the angles inside. So we'll do 720 divided by 6 angles, which will give you 120 degrees. So each one is worth 120 degrees. So there's one of our angles already. And the pentagon, again, n minus 2 times 180, 5 minus 2 times 180, 3 times 180, and that will give you 540 degrees inside a pentagon. And in each angle will be 540 divided by 5, which will give you 108 degrees. So we just got to add the 2 together and then deduct it from 360, and then we can get x from there. So x equals 360 minus 120 plus 108. X equals 360 minus 228. X equals 132 degrees. We'll make a stop there. Join me tomorrow and we will go through the next 5 or 6 questions. I didn't think it was too bad to start off with, which I guess means it's just going to get much, much trickier from here on out. So yes, join me tomorrow, and cheerio.